Good evening and welcome to our second 2023 Family Roundtable meeting. My name is Doug DeGesere and I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Arc Erie County, and it is my pleasure to be with you tonight to present our updates. It is our intention to provide you with updates on what has been happening throughout our organization over the last 9 months and answer questions you may have. In addition to myself, I have asked our department directors to join us this evening and report on the various initiatives that have been started this year and what progress they have been making. Our management teams have been working diligently throughout the year, achieving fiscal stability, creating new and innovative programming, leveraging technology to improve performance, exploring opportunities for growth, improving staff development, expanding fundraising, and increase advocacy for those we support and their families. We continue to remain optimistic looking forward, but also are aware that our business faces ongoing challenges. As many of you are aware, this has been and continues to be a labor shortage, and our business is feeling the impact. We have been provided with several wage enhancements and cost of living adjustments, which have been distributed to all our employees. This has assisted with recruitment and retention, but we still have ongoing challenges with filling staff vacancies and ensuring that we have the correct staffing ratios in our programs. Our human resources teams continue to work diligently to recruit and retain new staff and train staff every week, and we are committed to reevaluating our retention strategies with various work groups, developing strategies to remain competitive in a very, very tight labor market. As parents, family members, guardians, you can assist us by speaking with your elected officials about your concerns with funding and staffing and making sure that your voices are heard. We are continuously updating our website and social media sites with the ARC New York advocacy efforts that you can engage in or contact us to answer any questions you may have. We have been fortunate to have strong advocacy from the ARC New York, various provider associations, elected officials, and OPWDD to ensure that we continue to move our agendas forward. My intention with these comments is not to shed light on what is not happening, but as a reminder that all of us have an obligation to remain vigilant, to ensure that our constituents are not overlooked or forgotten by state government, and that advocacy is extremely important and always needed. I think you will find this evening's presentation extremely informative and helpful. The directors you will hear from tonight have done a remarkable job this year keeping their specific programs on an even keel, financially stable, and continue to offer quality support and services. They will be reviewing with you the status of their programs as well as opportunities for growth, and as always, we welcome your comments and feedback. To get us started, I would like to introduce Karen Mayweather, the principal of the Green Acres Preschool Education Program.
But we're here to welcome all of you who were able to join us, and I will be talking about our preschool program, which is located at 205 Yorkshire Road in Tonawanda. We had a wonderful summer with all of our little folks. We graduated about 80 children. They went from preschool to school-age programming. We had 4 different graduations because we wanted to include all the families and their friends who wanted to see the ceremonies take place. Our students also planted flowers and vegetables around our grounds of our building. We have like flower containers, and then they were able to pick some of the vegetables and talk about them, talk about what colors they were, those kinds of things. We were also fortunate enough to have approximately 15 young ladies from Sacred Heart Academy. They volunteered at our program for 2.5 hours. We did outdoor play. They were able to take the children and go into the bounce houses. We did painting, face painting, art crafts, and it was a wonderful day for all. I've spoken to their director, and she would like to come back and do some additional activities with our children as time goes on. And so we're looking forward to that. So summer was really, really, really busy. We have our 3 floor time trainers who enjoyed teaching not only the children, but the staff. The floor time philosophy was really started by Stanley Greenspan. And so we are having a staff development day on the 27th of October, at which time they will be presenting. So, you know, we're looking forward to that. Our trainers can be reached at our Green Acres location because they have also not only worked with the students, they've worked with the staff, and they've also worked with families who have an interest in this methodology of teaching. So now we enter into our 23-24 school year. Unfortunately, as we all know, there's been a shortage of teachers all over the country. We are actively trying to recruit several teachers. But for the classrooms we have, they are pretty much full. We were able to hire an art teacher and a music teacher, who our music teachers are already working on having a Christmas performance or a holiday show, so that the kids will learn the songs that she would like to have. We were supposed to have the local fire department come to our program on Friday. However, they had so many requests as our community helper. What they ended up doing was they came yesterday, and we were fortunate enough it did not rain on us while the kids were outside. They all got a fire hat. They got to climb on the truck. They got to see that these are our community helpers and our friends. So we did have them there. Yesterday was a very busy day. We also had an open house in our building. Each classroom had representatives for each of the families, or pretty much each of our families. So we were really happy to be able to have an in-person open house again. We kind of weren't able to do that during COVID, but now we're back on schedule. They completed our renovations of our bathrooms in the Green Acres location. There were 7 of them. And so the children are enjoying using them as well as the staff. The next project that we're looking at is we have 3 external doors that need to be replaced. We are hoping that with the replacement through a grant, it will be more energy saving for us, and they certainly will look a lot nicer in our building. So that's one of the other things that we're going to be working on, and we're also looking at possibly some ramping projects as well. So we have a lot of fun things ahead of us. The children, we do have a lot of little 3-year-olds this year, and they're just learning to be in a formalized program. It's been very busy. If you have any questions, they will be showing our phone numbers, and feel free to call if you have additional questions. I'd like now to introduce Linda Malkowitz. She is the principal of our school age program, and she will be sharing with you what they've been doing at that building.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for all those that are attending our program right now. I'd like to give you a little update on our summer program. This summer we were very busy. We had soccer shots in our building 2 days a week, so all the children received soccer camp training, which was amazing to see all of our kids getting together. They were so excited to be working with the soccer camps individuals. We also had an ice cream social at the end to end our summer program again, and we also had our flower garden and vegetable garden, which was used as a science lessons. It was used for cooking lessons. So what was part of the process, the students planted their seeds. The seeds were taken outside, and the students tended to the garden, watering, weeding. And once the garden was fully grown, we had harvest before summer school ended, so the children got to taste the fruits of their labor. And some of our non-vegetable eaters actually enjoyed a tomato and some green beans, so it was kind of nice to see the children experimenting. We do have 2 new large video screens in our auditorium and in our gymnasium. The screens will be used for the children throughout the day for activities. They will also be used for staff development, and we're also looking to have a family movie night sometime in the fall, late fall, early winter, an activity you can bring your family to and watch movies on the big screen. And lastly, for our summer program, we added 2 new pieces to our playground. We have a xylophone and drum set, and we have a quiet sensory corner. For our children who like to go outside but don't like to always be part of the big group, we have a corner of the playground which has sensory panels and a nice area so they can be outside and play with their peers but not have some of the sensory overload that a playground can cause for some children. So again, we had a very successful summer, lots of fun had by all, and September we started back to our school year. We also have pre-darkened classrooms, again, actively looking for teachers. We did hire a new adaptive phys education teacher. Molly started in September. Our transition workroom is up and running, where the students are scheduled throughout the day to work on transition activities. Teachers can sign up 1 child or 2 children, or they can sign up with another class. We're working on providing opportunities for our children to get used to work environments and working with different individuals. We also have put into place our living skills room now has a monthly cooking group where the students, teachers can sign their students up. They develop the menu, they go shopping, they prepare the food, and they will be able to eat what they prepared as well as clean up the kitchen to where it was. So teaching those essential skills which are necessary for adulthood and beyond. We've also instituted school work jobs. We are now having students work in our school library. They're working in our snack shop, which is open once a month. They do recycling as well as light cleaning, which could be vacuuming one of the offices or dusting. So again, giving those children that we support those opportunities, not only as a job, but also learning skills that they will need in their adult life. We also had our open house last week, which was also well attended. We also, at our open house, had the intake department of our agency, person-centered services, and our peer program were represented. So families who had questions were able to speak with our intake department, as well as if they still did not have a care coordinator, we did sign up 5 families for care coordination services. We continue to support our families through the transition process, whether it be transition from preschool to school age, from young school age to the transition years, and beyond that from school age graduation to attending their adult services program. We continue to work with our families. Our coordinator for transition services has been working with our families to make sure they're set up with care coordination, to make sure all those pieces are in line before they leave us, giving them the support they need and helping them through the process, which can be difficult for some. And again, please expect, our graduates expect to hear from our intake department in early fall. I'd like to introduce Michelle Cordero, the Chief Operating Officer of the agency, who will be discussing clinical services. Michelle?
Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight. My name is Michelle Cordero, and I am the Chief Operating Officer here at the Arc-Erie County. I am filling in for the Director of Clinical Services tonight, who cannot be with us. I would like to take this opportunity to share some details about some important clinical services here at the Arc-Erie County, New York. The first service I would like to talk about is our clinical support service. This is an as-needed service provided by trained professionals within the agency. This could be an occupational therapist, a physical therapist, a speech pathologist, our dietitian, or any of our trained specialists with regards to adaptive equipment. This team actually manages a ticketing system or a mailbox that when staff or management have concerns or issues with regards to any of the various therapies or adaptive equipment, they send an email to this mailbox. It's managed with our staff, and then staff are deployed out to address whatever concerns the staff is having. Excuse me. A good example of this would be a hospital discharge. So when somebody from our care goes into the hospital, Once upon discharge, there's a variety of things that have to be looked at. Do they have new prescriptions? Do they have a change in mobility? Do they have a change in feeding or their adaptive equipment? All of those concerns are then addressed by the professionals through this ticketing system and through this clinical support service. This service is specialized to the Arc Erie County, New York. It's something that we started probably about 5 years ago. And just to give you an idea, there was about 200 tickets addressed this year alone. The second service or program I would like to talk about today is the Article 16 Clinic. Our Article 16 Clinic runs under the auspices of Aspire of Western New York. The Article 16 Clinic runs under the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities, so it is a clinic that gets a certain dispensation from the state for the therapist to be able to provide more habilitative therapy than rehabilitative therapy. This therapy includes occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and/or mental health services. The mental health services and counseling is a new service this year for the Article 16 Clinic, and it is being offered at our 30 Wilson location. And also to give you an idea, by the end of the year, the clinic will provide about 12,500 visits across those 4 disciplines and those 4 therapy areas, which is a pretty amazing for a clinic of that size. That's all I have for you this evening. I'd like to thank you for your time, and I would like to introduce Erin Scordo. She is the Director of Residential Services.
Hello everyone, my name is Erin. It's my pleasure to provide you with updates on our residential department, starting with myself and my new team. I have been with the ARC for just over 3 years and have recently been promoted to the Director of Residential Services in June. I have been working previously as the Associate Director since my start with the ARC. I have 3 Associate Directors, Sarah Williams, who's been with the agency for over 15 years in various positions throughout the agency. I have Wayne Jones, who has been with the agency for just over 2 years. He has been a coordinator, and he has held other positions throughout Western New York in other agencies and other aspects, such as care coordination, management, and Medicaid service coordination. I also have David Garassi, who is my new Associate Director, who was just hired in July. He is new to the agency, however, has a lot of other experience with Western New York agencies for over 10 years. We also have the addition of a new residential nursing supervisor, Melanie Schultz, who's been with the agency for just over a year. She is replacing Verlevid Anamak, who is retiring come November. It is my pleasure to announce that we did have a residential team lead be the first to accomplish the apprenticeship program. He went through a series of courses and did complete the program that was sponsored by the Arc of Erie County, New York, as a joint venture with the New York State Department of Labor, and it was in joint with SUNY Erie Community College. He currently works at our location in Cheektowaga and is continuing to pursue his college education after his completion of this program. A couple program updates. We did implement our new PECS online system for money handling. Obviously, we are adapting to a cashless world and a little bit better security. So with this system, it works just as a debit card would for our individuals and their personal handling limits. Transactions show immediately when and where the purchase has been made. The manager of that site does have the ability to block the card from anywhere if there's any suspicious activity going on. The card can be blocked immediately if they choose, and an alert will be sent to all of management if there is any suspicious activity noticed, and that is automatic to all managers and directors. So just to make our monies a little bit safer in the houses, cashless world, less transfer of cash, just to make everybody's funds a little bit more secure. We also had, on March 17th, 2023, the HCBS waiver was implemented so that all houses are to appear more home-like, so that any visitors come in and also with our DQI surveyors, they will be assessing the sites to make sure that there's no postage on the walls, that all of the houses have decor, then it would look like any home that you or I were to live in. So it was actually a great implementation by OPWDD, and we did get surveyed on that this year. Only one house for that survey did get a slight adjustment on that was needed for labels on drawers. However, we were complimented to the highest degree in how home-like our homes are, and the managers and coordinators have done a phenomenal job with decorating our houses and to be more home-like and to be more person-centered. Overall, our survey year was fantastic. We did not have a lot of deficiencies, nothing with any medical issues. We commended our team. They've come a long way. They're doing a really good job with abiding to the OPWDD regulations. New survey year started 10/1, so hopefully we'll continue that in 2024. And our fun stuff we had going on this summer, so post-COVID times, we did have picnics within our pods that each house were attending. You know, they were swapping houses kind of on the weekends, where they would have picnics at one home and then the next weekend they would rotate. Very high attendance in all of that. It was really nice to see everybody outside enjoying each other's company in a post-COVID world. We also had some participants participate in an art show in East Aurora. They displayed their art and explained what their art portrayed for them. We also had an individual that was lucky enough to be able to take 2 cruises this year, one in April and one this past August. We had a couple individuals take some trips to Cleveland, and we do have some agency fun gatherings coming up with our costume party next week on Tuesday, and our Thanksgiving dinner coming back in full force in November. Thank you for your time today, and I will now introduce Brian Devins, who is the Director of Vocational Services.
Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Tonight I will be talking about our employment services here at the ARC. We'll start with our community-based pre-vocational services. So over the last few months, we have actually changed our focus for our community-based pre-voc. We are more focusing on moving people into employment and truly teaching them those job skills that they need to move on and get the jobs of their dreams. So some of the things that we work on throughout the day in CPV, we focus a lot on exploration and job discovery. We work with them on flexibility, appropriate behavior in the workplace, how to have difficult conversations with your boss, as well as how to have appropriate conversations at the lunch table and on break. We focus on good work habits, hygiene. We talk about what you need to do to truly work and how to build up your stamina for work in those situations. Throughout the day, the group is going out and volunteering. So we have a list of all the volunteer sites that we're currently at, and these sites are picked based on the individual's interests, as well as the skills that we're working towards to build the program and the individuals to get to that ultimate goal of employment. One of the things that we also have done with the switch and the focus is we have moved around our groups a little bit. So we have people working in different groups so they can reach their highest potential. So on to our Workforce Training Center. This we opened about a year ago. It is located at 2643 Main Street. Our current training programs that we have up there is culinary, hospitality, and janitorial. And then in early 2024, we will be opening a retail training. We are lucky to receive several grants to further along our trainings and open our training center to more people out in the community. Through OPWDD, we were awarded our career-specific vocational training grant, where we work on hospitality training as well as culinary training for people who are either unemployed or underemployed in our supported employment department through the ETP program. We just recently were awarded a grant through DLL that will do certification training through janitorial services. And people who participate in that training need to be either underemployed or unemployed. And once they complete the janitorial training, they will receive a certificate of completion and will be set to interview for different positions throughout the community. Through that grant, we're also doing a culinary program as well. And then the other training grants that we have are through Access VR. So we're able to do career trainings in the 3 current disciplines that we are talking about. We also are able to work with school districts. And we just started our certificate-based training program with St. Mary's School for the Deaf. Those students started this week. And once they complete, they will also be working in the disciplines of culinary as well as janitorial. And they will all hopefully graduate with a certification under this curriculum. So moving on to our supported employment and our Access VR supports. So in our employment services under these programs, we serve over 460 people in employment out in the community. All these people make minimum wage and they're working in jobs of their choice. So, and if individuals are looking for career advancement, we work with them on that, learning different skills, as well as those who are looking either for a new job or have become unemployed. We do job development. And we also work to help them with interviewing skills and give them on-the-job support. So moving on to our business sector of employment services. So we run a couple different types of businesses. We do group employment sites where we partner with the business and we provide additional support for those individuals. We have many locations throughout Erie County. We have a documentation program, we have production, as well as we have janitorial services. We are looking to always expand and create new opportunities for people who just need that little extra support in working. And over the last couple of months, we actually have added 2 new sites, Morgan Services, as well as Austin Air, both our newest group employment sites. So with that in mind, we have 3 that we're working on, and these will be in new areas. We're looking at a healthcare facility as well as partnering with a bank to do some of those types of activities for them. So, and then the other areas that we do contracts for is through NYSED. And these contracts are, they pay prevailing wage, so it's above minimum wage up to, I think our highest at this point is $20.60 an hour. And those are at some of our state contracts and stuff like that. That is all I have. Thank you for your time tonight. And I'd like to introduce Katie Reese, who is the Director of Community and Support Services, as well as DAHAB.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As Brian said, I'm the Director of Community Supports and Day Habilitation Services. I've been with the agency for 20 years. I am very excited to report that both Community Supports and Day Hab Services have continued to get back to normal operations, finally, this year. We are providing an after-program respite at our Williamsville location at 30 Wilson Road and at our 2643 Main Street location in Buffalo. This is great for our adult program individuals that still live at home with family. If mom and dad are working, their loved one can stay at program and receive our respite services. This runs from 2 p.m. until 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. We have a great opportunity to start an evening and weekend rec respite program at our 2643 Main Street location. These are for adult participants, again, that live at home with mom and dad. We will be able to provide on-site activities as well as experience community engagement. We are accepting referrals, so if that is something you are interested in, please contact our intake department. We do continue to have challenges to find staff for individuals that are looking for in-home respite and community hab services. If you have a family member, a close friend, a neighbor who is interested in providing these services for your loved one, they can reach out to our intake department. That care provider will provide the services and will be paid by the Arc-Erie County. Moving on to our day services. We had a wonderful summer and we had great opportunity to have our Hamburg and our Buffalo location come to our Wilson Road location. If you don't know, we have wonderful green space at this location. The individuals were able to see their friends from the other location, garden, play sports, walk our trail, and have a couple good cookouts. As well as our many volunteer commitments and partnerships with our local community centers, we started actually this month participating at the newly renovated Albright Knox Gallery in their learning and creativity sessions. We also began participating in the Winter Sabo program, which all 3 locations participate in and will be in the annual show at the end of the year. Truly always a challenging and exciting time. Working with our intake department, we were able to transition several new graduates from several school districts into our Day Hab and our Day Hab Without Walls program. It really was great to see everybody work together and to see the successful transition from school to adult services. Again, a challenging but very exciting time. With that being said, I'm going to introduce Christy Edwards, our Director of Community Relations and Development.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you again. As you can see, we have some upcoming events. Residential has the Thanksgiving dinner and Halloween costume party coming up. So they will be providing information to individuals within the residences in the coming days. With the holiday dance later in December, that will be held at our Grapevine Banquet Center. We held it there last year as well, so we'll be back there again this year, and information will come out in November. Coming up later this month, we have the Eta Phi Beta walkathon. That is something that is open to everybody in the community. Eta Phi Beta is a sorority that is nationwide, and they are raising money for the Arc-Erie County, New York, and will be donating it to us at this walkathon. A couple other things that we have coming up next year. We are sticking with the same fundraisers. Over the Edge will be in June on the 27th and 28th. It's a Thursday and a Friday. We will be looking for approximately 44 fearless rappellers that would like to descend Seneca One Tower for charity. You would have to raise approximately $2,000 to do so. So we are hoping to have another great turnout this year. It was awesome last year, biggest fundraiser we have ever had. So really excited to bring that one back for a second year. And the Ale Trail, that will be again in September on the 26th. It will have a little bit of a different time change. We're going to keep it on a Thursday evening, but extend it till 9 p.m. We had such a good time this year, we didn't want to end the fun so early. So we will be looking for sponsors for both of these events and looking for people to attend and join and have a great time with us. So with that, we appreciate you attending this evening. And if you keep your eye on the slides, you'll have everybody's contact information available. Again, thank you for joining us and have a great evening.